Good day, good people. It is Stephanie, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my currently inked for August. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I will be using my speedball nib to swatch the inks, and I do have 5 pens inked up for the month of August. So let's go ahead and get started. The first pen and ink pairing that I want to share with you is this beautiful green ink that I got from the Triangle Pen Show in North Carolina. If you remember in the previous video, I showed this, and the booth that I got it from, he didn't know the maker, he didn't know the name of the pen. All he knew is that it was a Bach nib. I fell in love with it, so I bought it anyway, even not knowing all the specs. And with the Botany nib, I bought it right before I had a appointment with Kirk Spear. So that was kind of right on time. So I took the Bach nib right over to Kirk, and I was like, okay, just bought this. What can we do with it? And Kirk turned this into one of his Tonto nibs. So what I've done so far is ink this up with a specific diamond ink. And a little bit about this ink is that I got it from Galen Leather, I apologize. And it is a special diamond ink called Cappadocia, if that's how you pronounce it, but here's the box that it came in. It is a diamond ink. It is from their line, but it's also in this cute little bottle of a diamond ink that I'd never seen before. It is a pretty green ink with some pretty sheen, as you can see right there. So I decided, okay, well, I hadn't used this pen before yet, and I just acquired this ink, so I was going to match them up together, and so that's what I did. So right now I'm just agitating the ink for a minute to get a good swatch. Okay. And here we go. It's a darker, prettier green. And I am doing it first so that by the time I get to the other swatches, hopefully this will begin to dry. I'm making it wider on purpose because I want you to see the shimmer and the properties of this ink. It is very, very pretty. And again, I got this from Galen Leather, and this is what it looks like, but it is a diamond ink. I'm sure it's just new to me. I'm sure that plenty of you have already heard or seen or know of this ink. And again, it's Cappadocia, if I'm saying it right. Pretty, pretty green ink. I am excited to use it for this month. Okay, so moving on to our second color. Our second color is a Monteverde ink called Azure Noir. It is a pretty blue. It's a pretty blue that has some, sorry for shaking the table, that has some shading properties once it dries. And I said, let's play with a pretty blue this month. So this is the one I grabbed. Should have dried that nib off beforehand. But again, this is Azure or Azure Noir. And it is a pretty blue. And since I only have 5 inks, I can make these swatches a little taller. Okay. And so in keeping up with Monteverde and Yafa Brands, who kindly sent me this ink, I am pairing it with the MP1. Guys, if you love a TWSBI, you'll love an MP1. Similar design, different type of mechanism when loading the ink, but still a very, very pleasurable writing experience. And I just realized I did not write down the green pen, so I'll go back and do that in a minute. But this is Monteverde, Azure Noir, and this is I think they call it crystal. I may be mistaken, but it's white. The MP1. And I did get this in a fine nib. And again, I think that's super cute in that white with the blue. And I'm just going to call this triangle pen. Can't remember if I gave it a name. If I did, I have to check back in my notes and see what I actually named her. And this is Kirk's Tonto nib. Okay, and I'm getting excited because I'm starting to see that first ink starting to shimmer. I hope it's catching so you guys can see it. But it's starting to dry a little bit and it's starting to show some of that shimmer. All right. And then next in the bunch, I used an ink sample. It is a platinum ink called Lavender Black. I was just curious about this ink, so I ordered a sample from Vanessa. And she is also a very pretty color. And you know, this is a little different for me, but I am enjoying it because it's giving pink, but its dry down is a little darker. And the name again is Lavender Black. I put Lavender Black in my new Jinhao 169. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you saw me just do a very generic post about the Jinhao 69. It's an upgrade from the Jinhao, this is the Jinhao 169. It is an upgrade from the Jinhao 159. I got it in 3 different colorways because I like to play with pens and inks. You guys know that. But this is the matte black version. It does have, a number 8 nib, and this is the number 8 fine nib. For this platinum ink. Lavender Black. Jinhao 169 in a fine nib. And I have enjoyed using this pen as well. I just got 2 more, so y'all hang in there with me. Next, I have my new pen that I just picked up from Stationery Fest from Bart at Zodiac Pens. She is gorgeous in the Pisces model. I have another one in the Pisces model, but I've never inked it up. So this will be my first time inking up a Pisces and writing with it. Excited to do that as well. And I have inked her up with a Sailor Studio 973. When I tell you that this ink was so hard to find, and it caught my eye watching videos, of course, and then when I went down the rabbit hole to look for it, I could not find it anywhere. And then I finally found it. I don't want to lie, I'll put it in the description bar. I found it from Gold Spot, maybe, or Cult Pens. One of the places that I don't necessarily go to first, but I was on the hunt and that's where I found it. But she is a pretty orangey brown, beautiful fall color. I put her in this pen to match this color here. So that's why I chose this color for that pen. And I know y'all thinking, yeah, Stephanie, just lay down the swatch so we can see. So here it is. Like I said, beautiful orangey brown. I have a number of pens that this would match with, so I am excited about that. But like I said, just saw this color recently on someone's video, and I was like, yes. Because you guys know I'm a fall girly, and I love all the things. So this is, again, well, if I spell Sailor right, Sailor Stephanie Studio number 973. And it was hard to find. I can't remember if the person said it was being discontinued. I think it is. As a matter of fact, I think a number of Sailor Studio inks, which you know are all numbered, I think a number of them are being discontinued, but they're adding new colors. So if you see something that you like, go ahead and try to find it now because it is being discontinued if I'm not mistaken. This is a Zodiac. And this is a fine nib. And I do have a card with the name. Is this Abigail? I want to say this is Abigail something, but I also don't want to tell you wrong. I'll put that in the description bar as well. So I need to give you the name of the pen and where I got this ink. I don't want to forget to do that. And then lastly in this haul, or excuse me, in this ink swatching, Lord, you guys know I am a Wear and Gold stan. Love a Wear and Gold ink. I'm sure most of you do as well. Finally broke down and bought Call of the Cthulhu. So that's what I have inked up in this last pen. And for me, this is a new combination. Love a Pilot Kakuno. Got several of these. And love the clear model. When I say several, guys, they're all clear except for two. I have one in the, is it Maduro or Mirando? You guys know I can mess up a word. But I got one in that drowsy, sleepy series, and then one that's just gray. And then like 4 or 5 that are clear. I usually only ink them up with black ink. So I decided to clean this one out and step out and use it and put an actual color in it. So that's what we're doing with Call of the Cthulhu. And that is a deep, heavy swatch. But you know, it's a pretty tealish color. Love that. Love a good wear and go. This is also a medium nib. Because the fine in this Cthulhu is too fine for my liking. And with this ink, I did not follow my get a sample first rule. Shame on me, but I just really kept seeing it and kept saying, I know I'm going to love that color. And I do. And this is a medium nib. Okay. Let me put this cap back on before I make a mess. And then I'm going to stand up so I can hold this up and try to get you to see the shimmers better than trying to bring the camera down. Excuse me. But look at there. Look at that diamond ink. That is super pretty. I think that it's working with all the greens in this pen. And then we got the Monteverde, which is a blue with some cool shading. Pair that with the Crystal MP1. Then we have the Platinum. You see how it's gotten darker now that it's dried? The Sailor to match this beauty. And then the Wear and Go to match the Cthulhu. Well, to work with the Cthulhu for this month. So this is my August currently ink. I hope you enjoy these colors. Let me know if you have these colors. You guys know I always want to know, do you have these colors? What inks do, or excuse me, what pens do you have them in, and do you enjoy them? Okay, well, I'm not going to hold you any further. This is my currently ink. And until my next video, please love on your family and take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.